Shortly before he died, Marco Polo was asked by his priest, "Tell me, isn't it true that everything you wrote in your book is fiction?" The island of Palawan is one of the largest amongst the 7,100 islands that make up the Republic of the Philippines. It is 450 kilometers long and 50 kilometers wide. A mountain range with peaks reaching 1,000 meters and more extends along the entire length of the island, and its slopes, blanketed by rainforests, are home to an enormous variety of animals. Postcard perfect, pristine sandy beaches separate the forest from the colorful and vibrant underwater world. Magnificent coral reefs surround the island, among them the Tubataha Reef, which has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Recent decades have seen intensive development that has thrust the Philippines towards the edge of an ecological abyss. Numerous mines and quarries operate on the islands, leaving gaping wounds in the scenery. Tracts of forest, including trees that are hundreds of years old, are being cut down for the furniture industry. The inhabitants, mainly fishermen lacking in knowledge and awareness, have been fishing with the aid of dynamite, and some are still using cyanide, methods which cause severe damage to the coral reefs and marine life in general. No one can stop progress, and no one wants to, but there are many ways to move forward into the future. Edward Solon Hagerdon, the mayor of Puerto Princesa, who once was a logger and environment destroyer, has promised his people to protect their natural resources and to develop their city in a sustainable way. And now that he has the power to make a difference, he's working to channel progress along a green, ecologically sound route.
If you go to the south, you'll see the massive mining operations, destruction of the forest. If you go to the north, you'll see illegal fishing and also mining happening in that area. So it's actually only the city.
With his vision, Puerto Princesa City is leading the Republic of the Philippines in the direction of sustainable development, ecological tourism, and conservation-oriented utilization of natural resources. While in the Philippines, quarries are still operating at full steam, in the reign of Puerto Princesa, mining has been outlawed altogether. The mayor, fighting for the island as a whole and the welfare of its citizens, closed the quarries in his general area.
I promised them that I'm going to protect the resources that rightfully belong to the Palaweños. And that started. The first agenda was to apprehend the illegal loggers, the untouchables.
Today, extensive restoration work is being carried out in an area damaged by mining, with the aim of turning it into an educational, ecological park and a center for recreation and extreme sports. As a part of the movement toward a green future, the timber industry has been shut down completely. Mayor Hagedorn blocked and then impounded the lumberjacks' cars, and the trees they had cut down are now on display in the backyard of City Hall as a silent warning. 5 police boats patrol the coastline at all times, and a special inspection force prevents illegal fishing. Clad in bold uniforms, the Coast Guard, with a clear, widely publicized legal mandate, is succeeding in enforcing the fishing laws and protecting the marine environment. The inhabitants, who had become used to unregulated fishing, are accepting the mayor's crazy ideas and cooperating with him to safeguard the resources of Puerto Princesa. Hagedorn is attempting to regenerate the dynamite-damaged coral reefs with the help of a world-renowned expert in marine biology, Professor Avigdor Abelson of Tel Aviv University. Abelson is one of a group of international experts who voluntarily assist the mayor in restoring deteriorated habitats, developing sound planning for protected areas, and initiating and maintaining other environmental projects aimed at promoting the sustainable development of the city.
the city of Puerto Princesa will never waver in its drive to really protect the environment. As a matter of fact, I think we're the role model now in the entire country when it comes to environmental protection. And I owe it to our people, as I was telling everybody, almost always when they ask me how I feel about our people. I think the biggest achievement of our administration over the years is that we were able to change the mindset of our people. The level of awareness, commitment, direct participation is really very outstanding. Now they are our partners in really enforcing environmental laws and seeing to it that the future generations will have more than enough resources for their future needs.
In a Manila workshop, a Dutch artist and a British engineer built about 8 tons of artificial coral reef modules, designed to restore the natural reefs that have sustained damage.
I think this is our first launch here, this beautiful island of Palawan. Unfortunately, most of the corals here in this area has been destroyed by dynamite blasting in the past.
The structures were positioned in the sea under the direction of Professor Abelson.
We will carry them also to the water. Okay. 2 people carry each module. Okay. Underwater, who is going to dive with us?
How many divers in the boat?
The Artificial Reef Project is part of a pilot study which will improve catches of local fishermen and create alternative dive sites to promote ecotourism in Puerto Princesa. Nature is attempting to repair itself, and only 2 weeks after the artificial coral was introduced, divers were able to see, with the aid of UV illumination, a settlement of young corals on the man-made structure. The destruction of the reefs and the reduction in the fish population due to overfishing led to a dramatic increase in the amount of algae which inhibit reef development. Without an enemy or predator, the crown-of-thorns starfish, which feeds on corals, are proliferating. In order to regulate the population of harmful species and bring back others, local residents have been hired to eradicate the starfish. The idea of utilizing the harmful seaweed as organic fertilizer is also being explored. Thinning out the population of harmful organisms and building artificial reefs may speed up the rehabilitation of natural ecosystems along the island's coastal regions. The mayor is also trying to introduce quiet, clean electric vehicles in Puerto Princesa streets to replace the noisy and polluting 3-wheeled vehicles known as tricycles that serve as the city's taxicabs.
And so that there are 4,000 tricycles. Immediately I called for a meeting and told them we have to cut this into half. Of course, immediately there was a negative reaction. Why, Mayor? You cannot do this after electing you into office again. I said, you see, what's more important is the surroundings, the environment that we're trying to protect.
Aside from helping to ensure a clean environment, the switch to electric vehicles will make Puerto Princesa the uncontested green capital of the Philippines and all of Southeast Asia. The organized separation of garbage for recycling exists not only in the city, but also in the smallest hamlets, in institutions and tourist sites.
So amazing, when the system is running, you actually see the water flowing and you never smell a single thing, and it's raw water being recycled right here on the property. So there's zero discharge into the sea.
Orderly garbage collection and sewage treatment are strictly adhered to and function flawlessly. The residents of Puerto Princesa are kept up to date about all the innovations and sustainable development plans by means of radio broadcasts from the recently inaugurated municipal radio stations. The new station is committed to the process which the city is spearheading and is spreading the green message to the public. Hagedorn is not a mayor who issues orders from above. He is genuinely connected with the people and intensely involved in the life of the community, creating warm relationships with the city's inhabitants. With the support of the experts around him, he runs tirelessly from one development project to another, initiating, prodding, and encouraging. An experimental project has been undertaken to introduce lighting, powered by solar and wind energy along several roads and forest paths, with the objective of switching more and more to green energy. In 2007, the National Geographic Traveler magazine designated Palawan the best island destination in the East and Southeast Asia region. Needless to say, the jewel in the crown of Palawan is Puerto Princesa, whose reputation has become well established under the leadership of Mayor Hagedorn. The city beckons visitors to come and explore its treasure trove of attractions and natural wonders, such as the mangrove forests. Mangrove trees are immune to termite damage and considered extremely desirable as construction material and choice of firewood, properties that brought about their destruction throughout the Philippines. Opposite the coast of Puerto Princesa, the last mangrove forests in the Republic are protected, and a unique and fascinating ecosystem exists among the tree trunks and roots that are immersed in water. A boat tour through these forests gives visitors a peek into the rich and astonishing world. The pride of Puerto Princesa's natural wonders, the subterranean river, was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1999 and earmarked for preservation. The underground river has carved out a spectacular channel in the heart of the mountain and flows between limestone rocks for more than 8 kilometers until it spills into the South China Sea. An expedition along the river reveals entire halls, stalactites and stalagmites, the result of amazing karstic activity. The mountain and the river hidden in its bowels have been set aside as a unique nature reserve, which includes one of the most important tropical forests in Asia. The forest, which cascades from the peaks of the mountains to the shoreline changing along the way, is populated by countless species of plants and wildlife, some of them extremely rare. The natural riches of Puerto Princesa, the variety of tropical landscapes, the atmosphere, and endless quiet, alongside its human aspects from the tribal people in the forests and the coast to the exciting city life, make Puerto Princesa an astonishingly out-of-the-ordinary tourist attraction, pristine and off the beaten track that cannot be compared to any other place in the world. The final words uttered by Marco Polo in response to the question put to him by his priest were, "I've not even told half of what I saw with my own eyes."